don't normally make the statement I'm about to make. We're going to handle answering questions differently. So we're not going to answer stupid questions. I'm not doing that anymore. It's a waste of time. And it's detrimental to the rest of the group. A couple of you have already got fact patterns before we even got here. Bothering my staff, nagging my staff. They're not fucking concierge. You understand what I'm saying? If you can't learn to wipe your ass without leaving shit on your panties, that's your problem, not mine. And if they don't give you enough food, I'm not interested. If they don't give you the food you ordered, I don't give a fuck. You understand what I'm saying? Whether they gave you carbohydrates or protein isn't gonna make you a billionaire. This is a group that's gonna likely try to test me vis-a-vis your cell phones. And I'm telling you from the bottom of where my heart is supposed to be, don't. And this deal about holding your cell phone below your desk so I can't see it doesn't work. When I catch the first person that's fucking around with the cell phones, you'll see what I'm gonna do to the person that had the cell phone in their hand and what I do with the cell phone. One, you're gone. And then when I stomp on your cell phone. So I'm dead fucking serious about this, morons. I've been too easy. So we're gonna have a throwback to the 90s, where most of these Hall of Famers came from. Not the current generation, they're all cunts, worthless pieces of shit. You should have rolled down this inside of your mama's leg. Truer words were never fucking spoken. You don't do the homework, don't come to class tomorrow. I don't care if the dog ate your homework or if your mother died in the night. I don't care. Either one, it doesn't make a difference to me. And for those of you that say you have no regrets, you're a lying cocksucker. Those of you that say your parents have no regrets, I can understand, I never asked them. But for you to say that they don't have any, you're full of shit. You should be their primary regret, because they're looking at you to live vicariously. What a sorry fucking sack of shit that is. And then the teacher looked at me with tears in his eyes. It must have been so sad you went to school. It must be hurtful. And I got right up, no. I had the time of my fucking life here. When I knocked him to the ground, I heard a snap and he cried and whinged like a bitch. He says, you broke my arm? And I said, now I did, asshole. He says, I broke a kid's arm in 4 places here. Then we went around to a place where they played tetherball. I put a kid's eyes out there. It was like old home week for me. And that's why you're making $45,000 a year as a fucking teacher with 5 degrees, and I'm here to give you money. We have developed 2 or 3 generations of vagina flappers, but that's where we are. Let's take advantage of it. All the more reason QLA works. And the problem with you, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and the few its that are in the room, is you've been kind and gentle all your life, and you've got shit for it. So we're gonna toughen you up. We're gonna give you some scar tissue. But we've had kids sued by the board because you weren't honest with them. You didn't do full disclosure. And then it fell to shit because you didn't tell them the truth about yourself. Then they sue you for tortious interference with the contract. They take your little feeble 1,800 square foot house away from you, or your fucking apartment. And then you say, oh God, didn't the old man talk about that? Old man being me. Then you wish that you had. And don't write me an email, Mr. Peña, I'm not interested. Don't tell me. So don't fucking write me or Kim. I don't give a fuck. That's not my challenge. I'm not your chairman. He asked me if it was going to be like the 2008-9 collapse. And I said, no, it's going to be different. It's going to be a different collapse. And I told you the only way around that collapse is for us to debase the money. And everybody's money is worth 50% less. It will actually take about a 42 or 43% debasement of currency worldwide to get rid of all the deficits in the world. That's a hell of a note. It's not going to happen. No president, no prime minister, no anybody that's ever elected in office is going to do that because he'll be a one-term person and nobody wants that legacy. So since that's not going to happen, we're going to live with a deficit until everything implodes and we get to the Mad Max. Mad Max is coming when you take what you want and shoot them down on the street like dogs. That's the metaphor for this program. I am going to reinstitute, I'm not sure I'll get the votes, dueling in Parliament. Pistols or swords, asshole. I'll meet you in the main square at sunrise. And we'll get a lot of shit done a lot quicker. This model will work then, pistols or swords. But the question is whether you can do it. And that's the fear you have. You can hear the fear in their voice. Now is the time. In the next 24 fucking hours, you better decide which motherfucking industry and which motherfucking vertical you're going to be in. Otherwise, the last 3 days of the seminar are going to be a waste. There was a guru, too, that had read 700 books. And at that time, I had been involved in 700 or 800 transactions. And what would you rather do? Be taught by somebody who read 700 books or did 700 deals? So a bunch of you have read a bunch of books. And now it's beyond books. Now it's fucking podcasts and all these other things. And what has it gotten you? Not a fucking thing. I bet some of you in this room went and listened last night to somebody's fucking podcast. I'd bet my left nut. How is that possible? It's like you're seated at the right hand of motherfucking financial God and you go and listen to some cocksucker's podcast. How is that fucking possible? Because you're a fucking pendejo moron. And you don't deserve anything other than what you've already received, and that's to be a fucking dingleberry where I missed wiping my ass this morning. We've had a woman here about 9-10 years ago that talked to her mother between 15 and 20 times a day on the phone. Mother wasn't dying of cancer. Mother was a toxic fucking cunt that should have never been born. And her daughter was a toxic fucking cunt that should have never been born. You can't talk to your mom 15 or 20 times a day about anything productive. And women, in my experience, are more toxic than men. They never forget or forgive. Never. You make it sound easy. Fuck. Why has that ability missed your lifestyle? You're the average of the 4, 5, or 6 people that you spend the most time with. Those 4, 5, or 6 people are normally a mom, maybe a dad, an older sibling, a grandparent, right? And how'd that work out for you? It didn't. Almost 40% of the people, millennials, don't make as much money as their parents. 35% of men still live at home. I mean, I can go on and on and on and on. You are who you hang around with. Poorness rubs off. I asked you, what's your parents, grandparents' highest accomplishment? 0, 0, 0, and 0, nothing, nothing, and nothing. And you, nothing. Just by that answer, I already know they're not worth a shit. If your kids think you're successful, something's wrong. You don't have to explain about Steve Jobs, the name, do you? He was a first-class asshole. Only recognized his daughter when he found out she was smart. And when his birth parents found out who he was, they gave him up for adoption. He told him to piss off. He didn't ask them why. Why did you abandon me? See, you dipshits would want to know why. Look at yourself in the fucking mirror, and that'll tell you why they abandoned you. Do you think Steve Jobs ever said, I got to think about it? Do you think Steve Jobs ever said, I'm working on it like you do? I'm working on not being a cunt. Well, exactly. Explain to me how you're doing that. How's that working out? You don't use tampons anymore? I mean, I've never heard a high-performance person in my 77 years ever tell me they're working on it. Because high-performance people don't work on shit. They take fucking action. Now, see, who would you rather be trained by? Me or this piece of shit that should have been born? How's his fucking program working out? Piece of dog shit. I hope he sues me. I'll go on Anderson Cooper. Oh, please interview me. Doesn't he have rights, Mr. Smith? Fuck no, not on my estate. He's got no fucking rights. And these commercials with fat people wearing lingerie and shit like that was just, it grinds my ass. Everybody's special. Everybody's, you heard that shit, right? What a load of hot cock that is. You're not special. You're not even mediocre at best. You're a joke. But nobody tells you, except here. And why do I keep telling you? Because it works. The book, Release Your Brakes, by Jim Newman, one of my mentors. Now, how do I why are my mentors, these guys, world class? And yours are hot cock nothing. Because I've had self-confidence, and that running towards the gunfire is making associations, not friendships. These guys don't have friends. You don't see Bill Gates at the Super Bowl, do you? They don't hang. They don't fucking chill. This program is based on under-promising and over-delivering. If you put as much effort, for those of you that box, a fraction of as much effort as you box into this program, you're a billionaire. Because almost all of you were out of gas after one round. But you sucked up your pantyhose, didn't you? And those of you that were out of the most gas, you know exactly who I'm talking to. You sucked up your pantyhose, didn't you? Your pride, your huevos, your manhood was on the line, wasn't it? Why did you suck up your pantyhose there? And you can't do it with this program because your primal instincts came out. Most of you fight like girls, even the tougher guys. If that's the best you got, I can make 15 interactions in a day. But see, I don't say, oh, how are you, how are your kids? But bam, fuck you, bam, fuck you, bam, fuck you. Strong email to follow. Because I know time is money. Tape yourself from the first time that you talk to a potential board member. You will be fucking gobsmacked how inefficient you are. These phone conversations should take 15 to 45 seconds. Seconds, not minutes. We've had wives call me, please give me my husband back. He's a beast. He's like Jack the Ripper. He smacks the kids because he unleashed in himself. It happens a lot. We've had kids kidnapped by intervention, their rich parents, put in camps where they put electrodes on their fucking brain to try to unpin you. A rich Australian kid got kidnapped, put away in the outback, not once, not twice, 3 times. His rich family put him there and he escaped all 3 times. He's rolling in pharmaceuticals. Give me my son back, Mr. Peña. You've got millions, you don't need mine. Give me my granddaughter back, Mr. Peña. You've got millions, you don't need mine. Please, please, sobbing on the phone. ethnicity. There are 8,
certain ethnicities.
9, which I'm not going to say on YouTube. But as soon as the camera goes off, I'll tell you what they are. 6 of them are represented in this room. Don't do business with them. I can't make it any clearer. Or another way of putting it, do it at your own peril. Remember, a Chinese lawyer, it's his honor to lie for his client. It's his honor. Round face, black heart. And you wonder why the COVID numbers are all bullshit coming out of China. What are you smoking? The death numbers coming out of the people that got killed in Ukraine, the numbers from Russia, that's all bullshit. What are you smoking? 11 general officers have been killed in the Ukraine fight. 11. In the beginning, since Crimea War, that's the highest proportion of general officers killed to men on the ground of any war since the Crimea War. It's not possible. But you don't know any different, do you? Because you're a fucking thick shit. They should have fact checks, not on the presidents, but on the newscasters. But if it's true that 11 generals, something's a lot more wrong with the Putin's invasion than anybody even thinks. There should be no generals lost by Russia. 11? Something ain't right. Corona's the best thing that ever happened to me in my life. I made more money than Corona than I made in the 80s. The entire 80s. When leverage is going your way, kids, and I was part of the group, I can happily say I ripped the fucking guts out of the world's finance. And then I said, how did Dan know that? Jesus Christ. Because I'm not a moron like you.